This is Marcus Whitney's audio universe.
Like, you gotta do the work. You gotta show up and just do the work.
What's up? Happy Friday. Hope y'all doing well. Another episode of Marcus Whitney Live. This is take two. When you're trying to live stream, you know, it's like the internet. And but we have both worked on our internet situations, and we are excited to bring this show back because we had a lot of people saying, "Oh, I wanted to see that episode." So we made sure we brought it back. Without further ado, my guest is Tonya. What's up? How are you?
I am doing fabulous, Marcus. How are you?
Good. Okay, let's jump right in. I want to use the entire time that we have to focus on your story, your old business, but more importantly, your new business, and the incredible hemp industry that you're in right now. So, Tonya, let's just start with your background. You know, we just talked about Nashville. Right. We talked about overcoming adversity, which is something that we both have in common, and we both think is important to share with other people. Let's dig into it.
You know, Marcus, first of all, thank you for bringing me into the show. And I know we had those technical glitches before, but here I am.
Yeah.
You know, living to see another day. In regards to, I'm a Nashville native, born and raised here, and you know, went to TSU undergraduate, Vanderbilt for graduate school. And so, but to kind of like back up to like my past, you know, you and I have talked about this, and we've had conversation around this. You know, yes, I am a high school dropout who has achieved great success in life. And I every day am eternally grateful for the opportunities that have presented themselves to me, because I don't take anything for granted. I realize that there's so many people in so many circumstances who have fallen through the cracks, who have not, you know, overcome the adversity that they've been challenged with. And because of that, they don't reach their full potential. So I'm completely humbled at, you know, the position that I'm in right now in my life.
So, you know, I'm always interested about the moments of magic that happen in between that, you know, that bullet point in our life story of dropping out. Obviously, that is supposed to sort of take you on a certain trajectory. Everyone gets really worried about people who have these kinds of, you know, fallouts, these sort of, you know, life events. They feel like showstoppers. I'm always so interested in where, especially for entrepreneurs, the moment in which entrepreneurship becomes an option, and then it moves from being an option to the answer, right? And they're two separate things. But first, just even believing you can do it. Like, how did that happen for you?
You know, I think what happens when you experience adversity is that every single time you achieve something, you realize I can actually do it if I persist, if I'm disciplined, if I commit to it. I've always been around entrepreneurs. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. My dad was an entrepreneur. They were not the entrepreneurs of today, you know, like
right.
They family businesses and they employed relatives. So it's, you know, like, it's not like what your standard businesses are today where you're interviewing people, getting resumes. So I've always been around that, and I've always had a really strong work ethic. Even when I was a kid, I tell people jokingly that my dad treated me like the son he never had. So when there was hard work to do, he tasked me to do it. And so I just, you know, I had that go get it, you know, mentality when I was faced with things. And so when I decided to become an entrepreneur, it obviously, as most entrepreneurs know, is one of the scariest moments of your life, because you're cutting loose that security line that you have to resources, to, you know, secure finances. I had to cut all of that loose. And so having people around you that encourage that is really, it makes it easy, right? If you have a husband or a wife or a partner who's willing to risk it with you, it makes it easier to take that risk and to take on that challenge. And so I had that support around me. I had people that encouraged me and said, go for it. And I did. I didn't know what I was doing, but I believed it was possible. And so I just stepped out there on faith and believed that, if I was dedicated enough, that I would figure it out.
Now, your first business was a great success. And when people talk about businesses being a success, I think especially for the uninitiated, they think about money, wealth. For me, I because I've been doing this entrepreneurship thing, for the last 10 plus years, I think about impact, right? I think about legacy. I think about it being something that people loved, cherished, and when you stop doing it, miss.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So can you talk about your first business? What was the driving force behind you creating it? And just how it went. What was the story of it?
I was actually pondering that earlier because I was thinking about this new thing that I'm doing, and what always drives me is a passion. Like the people that know me, that are my closest friends. They call me a food snob because I'm the person that's like, is that grass fed? Is this organic? Is this non-GMO? And to me, it's like, I believe my body is a temple. And so everything that I engage with, whether it's food, whether it's conversation, whether it's what I'm reading, or, all of that informs who I am as a person. And so I just believed in wholesome food. I mean, and I found it very challenging to find that in Nashville, believe it or not. Even if you go to some of the most high-end restaurants, they're sourcing their food from non-sustainable venues, and I was like, how do I contribute rather than look at it as being a problem? How do I contribute? And so for me, it was simply just, I had to build it.
Yeah.
I had to create it. And so we didn't really make, Marcus, to be honest with you, the post was a success because of what it became.
Right.
We didn't make a lot of money off of the post.
I understand. That's why I wanted to talk about, let's define success.
Absolutely. But what we were able to give back to the community was something that transcended the money, right? It was giving people wholesome food that we believed in and that we valued. And so that incentivized me to start the post. Initially, it was my own for selfish reasons, but also for well-intentioned reasons. I wanted to be able to give to the community. And so it was, we opened it in 2013 to a really wonderful outpouring of support from the East Nashville community. I mean, the first couple months, we had no idea, like people didn't know we were there. There would be one or two people trickling in. It was like, oh my God, are we going to be able to sustain? But, the word started, spreading, and people started coming in and they're like, wow, I can find gluten-free, vegan food that actually tastes good. And so I would say that we were sort of in the front end of all the vegan movement of sorts.
Yeah. Okay.
Happening across the city. And, I just want to say that I was able to contribute to, increasing people's awareness about the importance of food.
That's incredible. And I thank you as somebody who, has gone in and out of the view of my body being a temple. I'm now pretty deeply in that view. And the food I put in my body is really, really important. I've been in Nashville for 20 years. And in my 20 years, it's never been a better time to be here if you care about your body.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the time that we're facing right now. We've got a disease, a pandemic that's, running amok in our land. And people are suffering. People are ill, and it's like, we have to think about, how do I maintain myself in a way that allows me to be strong, to get the minerals, the nutrients that I need to be able to, defend myself against some of these things, and I think we forget that that's the most primary thing that we as humans have control. We have control over our bodies.
Yes.
We have control over these bodies, but we get into the habits of just performing or doing what we do every day. And it quick and easy is what we've become accustomed to, but we need to slow down and take time. And I think that that's what this time has really taught me, is that people are cooking more. People are walking, exercising, doing more of the things that they would not normally get a chance to do in their day to day.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's no question This is very hard, especially from an economic perspective. This is very difficult. Isolation, very tough for many people, especially people who, may not have had a mate or a family that they were, occupying the same space with.
Yeah.
However, from a lifestyle perspective, there are some things that were the norm in our previous mode of living, pre-COVID-19, that weren't good for us,
Yeah.
that were not good for us,
Yes. Yes. Like stress. I didn't realize how much stress I was actually under until COVID hit. And I was like, wow. I mean, insomnia is real.
Yes.
When you're an entrepreneur, we all know this. Many a nights you're up, tossing and turning because you've got these things that you have to get done in order to move your business forward, in order to progress. So it's like ideas come to me at like 3 o'clock in the morning, like sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to get back to those emails that I didn't get to during the day, which drives into the wee hours in the morning. People are like, why are you sending emails at like 1 o'clock in the morning? No one's going to respond. But these are the pre-COVID things that I had become accustomed to. It was like, got to get it done, hustle, hustle, hustle. But what I wasn't doing, there wasn't a balance.
Yeah.
So I wasn't taking the time to really just like relax, breathe, meditate, just to tune in to what was going on within myself. And I've learned so much since this has happened. I really have. But pre-COVID, yeah, I was a mess.
I hear you. I felt, I say this a lot, but I hit a bottom of sorts in the fourth quarter of 2018. And that was when I sort of realized I'm completely mishandling my body, right? And stopped drinking, started fasting, and I would say, those things along with exercise got me to the point where I could actually embrace a meditation practice. And so by the time COVID hit, I had been for a year meditating 10 minutes a day. I had just upped it to 20 minutes a day. And I was just like, wow, I feel so well prepared for this moment, and I'm so grateful. And I don't want to like talk shit. Now we've been in this for like months, and I'm like, okay, I can like talk about it a little bit more. But I knew like this was going to be really challenging for people, just like the sitting down, being with yourself, not sort of being running all over the place, the detox of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The spending time with your family, just becoming accustomed to being around your family. Like a lot of people that I know, like they would come in at like 6 o'clock in the evening, and they would spend maybe an hour or so with their kids. And now they're taking that extra time that they have during the day, because you can take, like, the thing I have found in working by myself at home a lot is that you can take those breaks. You automatically want to you build those breaks into your day. Whereas if you're in an office setting, a lot of times you're in you're in the go mood, and mode, I should say. And it's easy to be pulled in different directions. But I think this time, it's like I'm working at my house. I'm listening to the birds chirp. I got wind chimes in the back. I go sit out there and I sit quietly, and it's been good for my mental health. It truly has.
That's awesome. And I think this is a good time to say you put the post in the past.
In the past.
In the past.
Way in the past. Back there. Yeah.
And you are now running a new business.
Nusachi. Yes. So Nusachi we're a processing company that is producing hemp extracts for the global marketplace. So we're a B2B company. We sell the concentrates that people use for consumer products. So retail brands, whether it's a pet care, tincture, or an adult tincture, or a salve, we create the oil that goes into that product.
So I have so many questions about this.
Sure.
I think one of the first, let's just start with, why did you decide to get into the hemp business? Let's start there.
Okay, so I'll make a long story short. I actually became interested in hemp in 2018. but I wasn't interested in the oil. I was interested in fiber. And because if you know anything about the hemp plant, it's an industrial plant that has hundreds of applications.
Mm-hmm.
And CBD is just one component of that plant. So I was just looking for ways to engage with the plant. I started like doing research, my own research. I started traveling, talking to people. And it was not until I went to the Southern Hemp Expo in 2018 that I realized that there was a lack of minorities in this industry. Now, in a room like full, there were thousands of people at this conference, and I probably counted about 10 people of color. So that started my wheels turning. And then I went down to the National Black Farmers Association meeting in Shreveport, Louisiana, just to sort of get a feel for what people like farmers were thinking about this industry. And when I walked into that room, there was about 150 people or so in the room. And most of them were over the age of 60, you know? And so I realized that there's an older generation of people that are starting to move out of farming, but not a new generation of young people getting into farming. So I came back with this sort of rekindled sense of like, there's a mission. I got something I need to work on, I need to do. And I met with the dean at the School of Agriculture at TSU. And I was really interested in what this HBCU wanted to do in the hemp industry. And so there were some people there doing research. But what I found was that a lot of the students graduating from the Department of Agriculture were not going into farming or even farm services. They were going into animal sciences. And so I thought it was really strange. And with TSU being an industrial and agricultural university, why there was not much more engagement in this new cash crop that was in the pipeline. And so started just doing, asking around, talking to people. And then I met my current business partner, Mark Montgomery, through a mutual friend of mine who was interested in the industry and interested in the same thing that I was interested in, but he was wanting to get involved he wants to get involved. He's like, I want to get involved with the whole plant. And so that excited me. And I started reading about CBD, or I should say hemp oil, because I have to tell you that CBD is one cannabinoid in the, hemp plant. So a lot of people, when they hear CBD, they don't realize that's a cannabinoid. So hemp oil. And so I just loved what he stood for and what he was wanting to do in the industry. And I wanted to align with that. So he convinced me to join his team. And I will tell you that I was so freaking nervous because not only did he want me to join the team, he said, I want you to be the CEO of the company. And I was like, whoa. No, like, oh my God, I've never run a company before. Heck no. And so I would say 3 more meetings after that, after talking to him and actually just engaging with the other people that were a part of the team and some of the investors, I realized I couldn't let fear dictate my ability to take this risk. I was like, I cannot allow this. So I came home. I was terrified. I said, yes, I'll do this. And I'm glad I did because it has been a wonderful journey. It's been a hard journey, but it has been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life. I've learned so much about myself, and I'm still learning about myself.
So I want to, because it is relevant to this moment, give props to Mark, who I know, and give props to Mark for making space.
He made space. He did. And he is a great role model. He is tough.
He's tough.
He's tough. He's a drill sergeant and he has very high expectations, but he won't allow me to fail. He is my biggest cheerleader, because there are moments he said, there are moments that I've seen you endure that other people have crumbled underneath. And I think that's going back to my childhood and the things I had to endure to get to this point. There's something about adversity that just makes you so freaking strong.
Yeah.
Like you realize I've 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 been in the trenches. I know what that feels like, but I know what it feels like to stand on the peak of the mountain too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's get into the industry itself. Now that I know the backstory, and thank you, you actually did a really good job in a short period of time of like catching me up on that. So let's talk about this industry. So this is an industry that it is hard to tell whether it's really regulated or not. There are so many brands out there that have hit the market so quickly, and when that happens, it is, especially in a product that is something that you're ingesting.
Yeah.
Then you're looking for like quality. It's very, very difficult to tell. You made the choice to be on the B2B side, which means you're not creating the brand that people are buying. You're powering the brands that people are buying through your product. As you were navigating it and learning and coming up with your business plan, first of all, am I off in anything that I'm saying? Because I'm not in the industry.
Absolutely not. No, you're spot on.
Okay, cool. So I know that you and Mark were probably looking at this and saying, okay, this is the reality of the market. How are we going to navigate these inherent difficulties? Because it is an early, immature market. What choices have you made that you feel like are unique to the Nusachi approach in the hemp industry?
Well, I think the biggest thing that we've done as a company is we're setting a high standard in that we want to offer premium products that we feel confident ingesting and we feel confident selling to other people. And so in the hemp industry is a burgeoning industry. So there is still a lot of mistrust that people have about products, and rightfully so. You just mentioned it earlier that, people are ingesting this, and they're ingesting this because they are trying to, whether it's pain management, anxiety, whatever condition that they're trying to address, they want to know that they're taking something that's safe. And so when I say we set the standard high, our whole thing is that we want people to be able to trace their product all the way back to the seed. So traceability and transparency is vital in this industry. And as a consumer, you should be informed about what you are taking and what you are ingesting and putting in your body, especially if it's for medicinal purposes. So if you're buying a brand off the shelf, it should have a COA, which is a certificate of analysis that gives you a snapshot of every single thing that is within that particular product. So heavy metals, microtoxins, microbials, all of the things that if ingested in large amounts can cause you to become ill or sick. And so it's just being informed. It's educating people about the market, about the products, the process in which their products are created, because we're on that side of it. We're processing these plants, these flowers, and creating these oils. So every part of that supply chain is vital. So going back to the farmer, it even matters what they're spraying on their crop, the condition of their soil, because hemp is a plant that remediates the soil. So any and everything that's in the soil comes out in the plant. So if you can imagine, if a farmer is spraying insecticides or pesticides on their crop, it's going to come out in concentrated amounts in that oil. So it's important for processors, which is Nusachi, to get in, to conduct COAs on these products, even on the flower, so that we can make sure that we're not giving people products that's laced with heavy metals or toxins that will that will cause them to become sick. So it's we've set the bar high, and I'm all about organic, like 100% organic. I want to work with women and minority farmers. That is my intention. We just, we're about quality all the way through. Even the brands that we support, we have a high standard for them as well. And so the product that we just released, which is called Solar, stands for Single Origin Live Active Rosin. We grew the plants in a greenhouse that went into that product. So we were able to, it's the whole being a part of the entire process is why Nusachi is so appealing to me, and why I'm glad to be a part of this, like I'm glad to be able to say, hey, we're producing this. You can take this, and I know that it's going to help people. That's huge. That's huge to me.
What is the purpose of that product of Solar?
So solar, so if you, okay, so I have to do a little bit of educating on this because, so your body has an endocannabinoid system, and it naturally produces cannabinoids that bring about healing or homeostasis in your body. And so when we engage with things that bring our body out of balance, so you could probably name a few: stress, a poor diet, all of the things that you could think of that would bring about imbalance in the body, your endocannabinoid system is always trying to maintain that balance. So when you partake in cannabis, it has phytocannabinoids that mirror the cannabinoids that are in your body. So it engages with those receptors to try to bring about homeostasis in the body.
Got it.
Yeah. And so the products that we create, the solar product, so it has, if you think about if you were to walk outside and pick up a dandelion and chew it,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting the full benefits of that plant. You're getting the physical properties of it because you're actually ingesting it. And you're also getting the chemical compounds that make that plant what it is. So solar is, by it being a single origin live active rosin, we're basically taking that plant and extracting it without using any solvent at all, preserving all of the terpenes and the cannabinoids and all the essential oils that are within that plant and putting it into a bottle.
Wow. So it's the plant in a bottle.
It's the plant in a bottle.
Wow.
All the waxes and all of the fiber, but it's the plant in a bottle. So the synergy of those compounds, those chemical compounds working together are more beneficial for your body.
Got it. And just I want to make sure I'm tracking what you're saying.
Absolutely.
And the purpose is to help you bring your body back into homeostasis when you get out of it.
Absolutely. It's to help you manage pain. It's to help you manage your anxiety. I mean, when you partake, I will have to give you some, Marcus, because when you ingest it, there's a sense of, like, I tell people, they ask me, well, what are you supposed to feel like? And I said, you just feel good. And most people are not accustomed to feeling good,
Mm-hmm.
right? Most people are accustomed to managing pain. Most people are not accustomed to feeling good. So when you feel good in your body, there is nothing in the world like it.
It's the best high. Like,
it is the best high.
It's
like working out. When you get out and you push yourself and you come back, you're like, man, I feel good. And you go back in the gym or you run or whatever the next day, your endorphins are already up there. Your body's already feeling good. And if you're feeding it the right things, there is nothing in the world like it. So people, when they make jokes about how picky I am about my food, or, me exercising all the time, I'm like, when you feel good, you don't want anything else. You don't want to go, like you want to be able to get a good rest. You want to be able to wake up. You want to get up off the couch without feeling aches and pains in your body. Like, come on, it's good that you get it. It's good that you get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
So look, I told you these shows go quick. 30 minutes. It's up.
Okay. Oh, it's over.
It's up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So with that, any final words? Because we tapped on so many incredible things. I mean, your journey is incredible. High school dropout, now CEO of this revolutionary hemp company. Onto your second business. You already had a fantastic restaurant. Closed it on your own. Didn't have to close it. Closed it because you wanted to.
Closed it because I wanted to.
Right.
Absolutely.
What sort of parting wisdom would you leave for viewers and listeners?
I would say, just never, ever, ever, ever give up, and don't let fear be the determining factor as to the things that you do in your life. And I heard this on Alone, which is a show where these people go live out on these islands, and they, are in these really, interesting places, and they have to survive. And the person that lives the longest or stays the longest wins the money. Well, on there, this young man said, failure is not necessarily, success is not how many times you fail, but when you fail, maintaining your enthusiasm, because there's something to be said about when you fail, giving up and thinking that's it. really being persistent, pushing through it is the biggest way you accomplish anything. So never give up. Don't let failure determine your course.
That is a perfect way to end this show, a perfect way to end this week. Tonya Lewis, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Incredible to have you on the show. Everybody out there, follow Tonya at TLewis627 on Instagram, on Twitter at Nusachi1, Nusachi. You can go to the website, nusachi.com, and you can just track this incredible woman and her journey. We're going to be hearing a lot more from her. I'll have to bring her back on after I get my free sample of Solar.
Absolutely.
And yeah, y'all. And back on the point of not giving up, I'm so glad I didn't give up trying to write a book. It's done. It's coming out next Tuesday, June 30th, Create and Orchestrate. I'm super excited to get it out in the world, and I think it will be really helpful, especially in this time where the economy is so uncertain. I think entrepreneurship is definitely becoming more of a life skill. The podcast, Marcus Whitney's Audio Universe, on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio. I can't remember all of them, but it's everywhere. So wherever you get your podcast, you can just subscribe to it there. And you can follow me anywhere online at Marcus Whitney. And that is it, everybody. I am so excited to be out for the weekend, finally, for the first time since lockdown. My wife and I are going to take a little downtime. So look, y'all, have a great weekend. And I will see you back here on Monday with another episode of Marcus Whitney Live. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to